What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Dermy Wormy, and I'm coming at you with a new video, and we're talking Starfield for once, and since basically September, because a dev decided to come out and run his mouth. That's right, a dev on Starfield decided to come out and run his mouth and basically call all the people complaining about the game, saying we're being way too mean. A game that, I have to remind you, was originally slated for about November of 2022, ended up getting pushed back to 2023, and then again got pushed back again until September 6th of 2023. Yeah, it's been it was a wonderful time to develop this game and actually put it out there, guys. And remember, this was a game that was supposed to be basically the next iteration of Skyrim, a game that would continue to go on and on and on, that people would keep buying, keep playing, and everything as they built up to the next Elder Scrolls game. But when you actually come over to the streaming charts, yeah, it ain't doing really well. This is the entirety of basically the, you know what, we'll just go all time for Starfield being played, at least on Steam. It is an Xbox game, so those numbers I do not have availability to. But as you can see, it's fallen off a cliff. Outright fallen off a cliff. And more people mainly talk about the As rant, the epic of epic rants that have ever existed over on YouTube, when Az came out and said, you know, fucking pronouns and everything like that. The greatest rant of all time. Well, now you got a dev coming out and giving us some interesting points to talk about. And right off the bat, what I'm going to say is he doesn't like you. He doesn't care about you, because there's one main word that he uses that immediately puts it into perspective on how he really thinks of us. Consumer. When an individual that works for a movie company, you know, a studio of some sorts, a comic book industry, video games, anything out there, if they call you a consumer instead of a customer or a fan, they immediately think lesser of you. But let's go through this 15 post thread from this Emil blah, 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 blah. Okay? Yeah, let's see what this guy has to say. Funny how disconnected some players are from reality of game development, and yet they speak with complete authority. I mean, I can guess what it takes to make a Hostess Twinkie, but I don't work in the factory, so what the hell do I really know? Not a lot. Oh, okay. So because you don't work in the factory that makes a Twinkie, you immediately think that you don't really have the right to be complaining about this stuff, because a lot of good people went into making that Twinkie, right? No, I can complain about whatever the heck I want, but let's move on. Part of me really gets it. When you're a consumer, not a fan, not a gamer, not a customer, you're a consumer. You're meant to be buying this stuff. You're supposed to just open up and accept everything. That's what a consumer is. Open up and just consume. That's what that is. Okay, you're a gamer, you're a fan, you're a customer. That's what you should be calling these people, not a consumer. And spend money on things, that gives you the right to complain about those things. I spend a lot of money on games every year, and sometimes it takes a lot for me not to scream into the internet collective consciousness. Oh, okay, good for you. You get to spend a lot of money on games. Good for you. Guess what? A lot of us don't get a lot of money to spend on games. More of us can spend money on games all they want, and we all get to shout about a game. So good for you. But I know it's very hard to wrap your head around calling customers and not just consumers. I don't complain about games on social for two main reasons. I know how hard it is to make a game and have too much respect for fellow devs. 2, I work for game studio, and it would be uncool and unprofessional for me to do so. Oh, but you guys do it all the time. There's several instances of game devs going after other game devs. Oh, but when it aligns with your politics, though, you don't do it so much. When you guys are being all buddy buddy, but actually, it's better when you guys are taking pot shots at each other, because that's when it shows that you guys are actually rivals and everything, and not. Oh, I get it. Oh, listen, I get it. I get it. You know what? You're so great. That's when we get stagnant, and that's when games no longer like to perform as well. You need competition. There was a time when it was Coke versus Pepsi, Marvel versus DC. You had the fast food chain wars, all this stuff, all these instances where all these companies were taking pot shots at each other. That actually helped improve stuff and actually helped make stuff more entertaining and everything. WWE versus AEW, all that stuff. Or was it WWF at the time? I wasn't around, but I heard about that particular one. I heard about a lot of fans talking all the time about how that was like the peak entertainment of wrestling, when they were taking pot shots at each other, because it shows that there's competition and they're vying for your support, because they want your support. They want your money. They don't just consider you a consumer, they consider you a customer. But hey, that's on you. But sometimes I want to. Oh boy, most people don't have these constraints and are free to post whatever they want. The internet is a glorious wild west, and I wouldn't have it any other way. And there was a time when I exercised that right very freely. Why don't you do it now? Just because you're a developer, you don't do it anymore? Well, that's kind of sad. I still would. I used to want to make video games. I actually went to college to make video games. Then I went for engineering and stuff like that, 3D design, all that stuff. I wanted to do this. I'd still make pot shots at these companies. I still make pot shots at Bethesda. I used to be a Bethesda fanboy. Not anymore, for obvious reasons, but let's continue on. When I was writing game reviews for the Adrenaline Vault, and never heard of that, forever ago, I was absolutely that person who would say whatever I wanted about a game, good or bad. Sometimes the good was over enthusiastically too good, and sometimes the bad was me being a sarcastic asshat. Why don't you still do it? Legitimately, why don't you still do it? Oh, but now you're saying, hey, when I had a good game, a game that I liked, maybe I was just a little too much on it. Okay, maybe I did over embellish how much I liked it and how good it was actually, or maybe I'm not being honest about it. But when it was a bad game that I didn't like personally, maybe I was just too harsh on it. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for hurting people's fifis all the way back in the before 4 times, before I was a developer and I knew how hard it all was. No, still do it. Still go out there and talk about that. But again, this is all being pointed at consumers. He's trying to relate it to us at a fundamental level. Listen, guys, I used to complain about video games too. And then I saw how hard it was. And I know how hard they actually struggle to put out these games. So maybe we shouldn't do it. Screw off. We are the customer. We get to say when you guys did a bad job. But throughout that time, I actually had no inkling what game development was actually like. How hard the designers, programmers, artists, producers, and everyone else worked. The struggles to bring a vision to life with constantly shifting resources. The stress. Oh, then get out the industry. Get out the industry. If it's that hard for you, if you don't like it, if you're complaining all the time about it, and you guys keep putting out a poor product, get out the industry. You're not worthy. You're not good. You're bad. Get out. You don't like it? Tough. This isn't me complaining about my job. Oh, it actually kind of does sound like it is. I've experienced all these things. And well, again, it's the nature of AAA game development. Yeah, and AAA game development has gone right into the trapper, hasn't it? Hasn't it? Constantly all these deadlines and stuff that actually doesn't let you guys do your work. How many AAA games have actually been that good over the past couple of years? But I also have a great position, and I'm still gainfully employed after 21 plus years. A blessing considering the thousands of layoffs this year. Oh, guys, listen, I'm still gainfully employed with this AAA studio that I actually like my credentials at, and all this goody stuff and everything like that. And but I'm still employed, even though all these other guys have gone away. You guys are complaining about all these layoffs across the board, but I still have mine. Guys. Oh, but so you guys shouldn't be complaining because so many of these guys got laid off. Yeah. Guess what? It's hard times. It's hard economic times. And considering how Starfield was, I don't blame people for getting fired. That was a piss poor game. There's nothing there. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody's playing it. But hey, you got to come out here and try to virtue signal on how rightful you are for protecting these devs and everything, and how we are being so mean against these devs. I'm not trying to change anyone's mind. Yeah, you are. You're trying to change in everybody's mind by saying you shouldn't be so hard. Look at these devs. Look how hard these devs are. Because the internet. But given my position, I cannot share the truth. I can't not share the truth. Oh my God, they're so mean. I must come up and virtue signal on behalf of all these devs. And the truth is, nobody sets out to make a bad game, and most game devs are incredibly talented, even if the game they released isn't up to par. Well, then they're not that talented. They're not. It's just that way. If a game isn't up to par, if a game doesn't work, you're not that talented. Okay, you should be talented. You should be able to actually do good work. But if you put out a piss poor game, you didn't do good work, you lose your job. And also, we get to criticize that as a customer, not as a consumer, as a customer. But hey, you know, this guy has he gets a crap on all of us. 9 of 15, by the way. See, I never knew this before, but if nothing else, video game development is a series of conscious and tough decisions. There's that perfect game you want to make, and there's that game you can make. Sometimes, if the gods smile on you, those two are very close. Okay. Yeah, sometimes you can't make what you want to make, and sometimes you're constrained by technology, graphics, all this stuff. So you know what? You come out and you say, hey, I'm sorry, we couldn't give you the proper game that we promised. We will continue to work on it and actually provide you the game that we promised and continue to update and everything like that. Instead, you guys put out a crap game. Everybody called it a crap game. Everybody came out and, well, everybody that's honest and that wasn't just looking through rose-colored glasses and saying, oh my God, the game was so fantastic. The people that actually admitted that, hey, the game was broken. There was nothing actually there for the end game. And as you continue to play on, the story was just meh. Okay, you know, when we get to come out and say that, because then it tells me you guys didn't have the God smiling on you. You guys didn't, you had a game you wanted to make, but you never came out and just admitted that you couldn't make that game. You know, the honesty level of all this is actually on your guys' side, not ours. Well, no, it is on our side. We're coming out here being honest, but you guys weren't honest to us, so we don't have to come out of here. We have to then come out here and prove to you that, yes, you guys effed up and you guys need to accept that you effed up, but when you guys don't F up and just say, well, we all worked hard on it and you guys don't need to be complaining, that's all on you. That's when you guys are starting to become little pricks. But in order to get there, in order to get it as close as possible to the vision, the team has pushed itself harder and harder. Yeah, you guys delayed it roughly 3 times. How many times did you guys delay this? It happened with Cyberpunk 2. Cyberpunk came out, it was flop. People chastised it. People complained about it. Guess what? Cyberpunk kept putting out, said, hey, all the DLCs are going to be free as we continue to work on this. And guess what? The game's actually good. But you guys didn't do that, you know. Often while dealing with devs being shuffled around or leaving looming deadlines and creative decisions you wish you didn't have to make. Oh my God. Oh my God, we worked in a mega industry that has a bunch of decisions and overhead and stuff, and we can't put out the stuff that we actually want to make because it's super freaking hard. Then leave. Leave. That's what it boils down to. If it's so hard, get the hell out and start working on indie games. Indie games have a much different time strain. They're usually less overhead and everything, smaller teams and everything, and they put out really good games over and over again. Why don't you just go do that? Oh, because you're a part of the AAA Access Club. Okay, that's why. And team is absolutely the operative word there. Lots and lots of folks doing lots and lots of work, writing, level building, making character models, coding game systems, trying to schedule it all so it can get done and folks don't burn out, and on and on. Oh my God. Working in these AAA game studios, working in these amazing game studios where we get to put out stuff for people to play and enjoy is hard. It's a bunch of hard work, guys. I'm so sorry. Why don't you just come out here and say, hey, I'm sorry we put out a game that you guys didn't like and it's fallen off a cliff and nobody really plays anymore. I mean, again, I'll just hop over here to the Steam charts. As of right now, in the past 24 hours, only 20,000 people are playing it on Steam. So yeah, fell off a cliff. Yeah, what happened to that 60 million title? 60 million players? Not existent anymore. So sure, you can dislike parts of a game, you can hate on a game entirely, but don't fool yourself into thinking you know why it is the way it is, unless it's somehow documented and verified, or how it got to be that way, good or bad. Don't assume that we didn't want to put out a good game. No, just say, legitimately, this is just him crying to you. This is legitimately all he's doing. He's crying to you. He's blaming it all on you. He's not wanting to take responsibility on their own end. He's always passing off everybody else's responsibility. But hey, you know, if you just come out and say, hey, we screwed up, we're going to be working on trying to make this game actually better for you, you know, like Fortnite did recently in regards to Fortnite, the movement was actually all shot to hell. And guess what? Epic Games came out and Fortnite came out and said, hey, we're going to be working on trying to update this to you and make it a whole lot better. We realize that we screwed up here. Fans and players aren't happy, so we're going to fix it. You know, that's all you had to do. Instead, you're over here basically chastising the people complaining about Starfield, the people that came out and talked about it. And also, you waited till the Starfield, all the Starfield stuff was all the way down before you came out here and actually began to virtue signal and everything, because you didn't want to be caught up in the whole tirade at the time. You're waiting till basically the game's fallen off a cliff and after the Game Awards to come out here and do all this, because note, this comes out December 13th. The game was launched in December 13th is when this is all going on. Game was launched September 6th. So yeah, you were waiting to drop all this. That's all on you. Chances are, unless you have made a game yourself, you don't know who made certain decisions, who did specific work, how many people were actually available to do that work, any time challenges faced, or how often you had to overcome technology itself. This one is huge. Oh, okay. So now you're showing your true colors. You guys don't know how hard it was. You guys don't know how much we had to deal with all this. This is all the latest stuff we had to deal with. Get out the industry then. If you can't handle the heat, get out the kitchen. That's what that boils down to. So yes, love games, buy them, play them, and complain to your heart's content. It's sort of the nature of developer/player transactional relationship. Yeah, it is. But you putting that there after your whole tirade ends up telling me that you actually hate it. You hate that people are coming out here and chastising you guys for the piss poor game you put out. That's all on you. But just know that the game you're playing is in some way a freaking miracle in and of itself. Normal people have come together to work for years for one goal, to bring you fun and happiness. So it helps to remember that. And then nerd love. You know what I see here? You know how he ends that? That's him basically saying, listen, guys, I love you all, but just know all the complaints about Starfield, you just got to remember again, there was a lot of people on here, so you need to realize that a lot of people went into working on this, so maybe you should be nicer and everything. No. We are fans. We are customers. We are the people that get to complain. We are the people that chip out the money to buy your game most of the time. And if the game isn't good, we're going to say, hey, I gave you money, okay? I gave you cash moolah and an economic time that is very bad. Guess what? Your game was shite. It wasn't good. There was nothing to do there. I still, to this day, December 17th, when I'm recording this, I open it up once a week. I cannot play Starfield. Can't play it on my Xbox. I can't play it on my PC. It does not run properly for me. That is all on them. They have not updated it properly. They have not gone out and done anything to it properly. You can't play the game. And if you can't play the game, guess what? There's no replayability. There's nothing there. It is an empty hollow of what a game should be. This was supposed to be the next Elder Scrolls, the next Skyrim, the game that was supposed to hold you guys over until you put out the actual next Elder Scrolls. And you flopped. You flopped miserably. Okay, after years of development, this is what you gave us. We get to criticize you, and you basically have to either come out here and say, hey, we realize we messed up and we're going to work better, or you put out something like this and we criticize you more for it. But I'm going to leave it there, guys. Let me get you guys' thoughts on all this down in the comments below. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it out, friends, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for every time I put out a new video and go live, and check out coffeebrandcoffee.com. What's going on, guys? Listen, it's Christmas season coming up, and you know what makes great gifts? That's right, Coffee Brand Coffee. Coffee Brand Coffee makes wonderful gifts, and guess what? They don't just have great coffees, teas, and cocos. They also got gear, they got K-cups, and also they got wonderful gift boxes. Gift boxes that include all sorts of wonderful great goodies. You got chocolate covered coffee beans, raspberry yogurt pretzel twists, sea salt milk chocolates, caramel. You got chocolate covered coffee beans, peppermint hot cocoa, spicy and sweet treat mixes, kettle corn pop, premium vacuum travel tumblers, and all sorts of wonderful great stuff that you can get at Coffee Brand Coffee. And these make great Christmas gifts. So guys, please check out coffeebrandcoffee.com and use promo code BACKTACO at checkout to get 10% off your purchase. That's coffeebrandcoffee.com, promo code BACKTACO.